So, yeah, let's move to another thing that dear president has signed.
So today is about...
It's just policies and everything.
What's the title of this episode? Signed, sealed, delivered.
Oh, yeah.
So, signed, sealed, about to be delivered.
Okay, signed, sealed, delivered.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, let's round this. Our glass is gone, but we'll rough this.
Yeah, almost.
I've been looking down at it.
We'll rough this. So, but yeah, thank God Muyiwa is here. Nifemi, yeah. Don't just calm down, So
I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay, so this is the news. The Nigerian federal government or the CBN has decided to float the naira. What does that mean? What was the naira doing before it started floating? So
it was sinking.
Good question.
Okay, so I think maybe Muyiwa will explain, but let me try again. Let me try first. So this is how exchange rates typically work. So exchange rates are usually either fixed or floated. So if it's fixed, the central bank of that country says this is the value of this currency. Come rain, come shine, whatever happens, until we decide to devalue it ourselves again.
Yeah.
That's what happens with fixed rate. Now, with the floated exchange or floated currency, they're saying, you see what, you guys should just do what you want to do. Let the market decide the value of the currency. So buying, selling, trading, we determine what value the naira is. So just think about it like, instead of putting your item on GG and say, oh, this is the price. If you don't have the money, get out. You are putting it on GG and you are letting the price fluctuate, like allowing people bid for it. If people find it valuable, they will bid for it and the value of that item will go up, right? But if people don't find it valuable, people will not want to. In fact, when you go to the market, let's say you have a Redmi phone now, and many people are trying to sell off their Redmi phones. The value of the Redmi phone will fall. But if you have an iPhone and very, very few people are selling the iPhone, the value of course is going to go up. So I don't know if that explanation makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. The only problem is like Nifemi, like you asked, and they said they are floating it now. What was it doing before this? Because yes, there was a fixed rate. The CBN said this was the rate, right? But we still could not buy it at that rate because we're not earning enough anyway.
Yeah.
Whether
you mean Nigeria is
Nigeria wasn't enough, so there wasn't enough dollars in the system. So even if the CBN said this is the rate, and you type it on Google and Google tells you this is the rate, we are buy it at that rate now. You can't because it's not available. So black markets, parallel markets was still thriving. So for me, the floating doesn't make any difference.
So that was my confusion. Yeah. So I kind of sensed the kind of excitement online when I saw the floating. Then I was not trying to make sense of it. Then while I was trying to make sense of it, it was not making sense because you say, okay, you are floating it. It's supposed to appreciate the naira, or the market is supposed to determine when the naira is appreciates or depreciates. And currently, the floating it, from what I found in the news, floating it kind of actually supposedly depreciated the naira.
Yeah.
Then I was trying to find sense in that because when it got floated, news was that the naira, like value of naira to dollar was like
660 something.
That was like the official
exchange, yeah.
Right. But as of June 12th, like that was the beginning of this week, it was 754 to 754 naira to $1. Then I'm now wondering, is that depreciation? Then I went further and I said, okay, these people are reporting based on the supposedly official rate. Meanwhile, people are actually converting this in the black market, the unofficial market. That is where the foreign exchange is available. So as it were, for me, the floating so far, maybe on the long run, maybe we will see the impact. But so far, the floating did not devalue the naira or did not make the naira depreciate as it's supposedly painted as.
So it's not supposed to. The floating is just leaving things up to the market to decide, right? It's not supposed to either depreciate or appreciate the naira.
Yes.
No, I mean,
But
currently,
the question is, the market was already deciding it.
Exactly.
The market was already deciding it. But so this is, I get the point, right? The fact that you could not get dollar officially made that official exchange rate almost irrelevant,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
But this is what is going to happen now. The parallel market, the black market, and the official market are going
They're going to like converge.
they're going
Yeah.
to converge most likely,
Eventually.
right?
Most likely.
Yeah. So now more people, I feel, okay, let me not talk on the podcast based on feeling, but I'm seeing a picture where most people were actually hoarding the dollars because of that exchange rate,
Yeah. So they will pump it back into
pumping it
the
back into the market.
markets, and then hopefully we'll start seeing more availability, which will then probably reduce the rates.
Yeah.
But like Nifemi said, maybe the long term benefits we should be more. I'm not an economist, but the long term benefits we should be more concerned about. But I don't know.
Currently.
I just wish maybe. I mean, again, I'm not an economist, but I'm still not positive about the long term unless we start to increase how we earn
In dollars.
foreign currency, because either way, whether it increases long term or not, if the foreign currency is still not there, it will be scarce, it will be in high demand.
So
The rate will still be this.
I
One-
actually
one long-term effect that could possibly work. So let's take Argentina now. They did this in 2002, this same currency floating, and what happened was it's most likely going to happen in Nigeria too. Prices of things went up. You could not, because they were very, very import reliant. But what happened is it now became an attractive destination for exporting, because the currency, when you bring your $10 to the country, it brings a lot of money in the country, so you can do a lot of things with it in that country. Then you cannot export. So a lot of people will want to export from you because buying goods from you might now be cheaper than. Then I was looking at a founder's comment about this. He said they established in Nigeria, they had to put down payment, and the down payment was made in the official rate. CBN forced them to do it in official rate. But when they've made their money, they now want to repatriate the money back. They don't see dollar to repatriate money back. They have to go to the black market.
Yeah.
So they're making a loss from. So the money they put in and the money they are taking out of the country, they are making a loss from that. So more foreign companies, more foreign investors would be more interested in bringing. They know that, okay, if they bring their $1 million to Nigeria at 600 naira, they are not going to be forced
Yeah.
to sell it
at a lower value than what they brought into.
And since it's now a free market, a floating market,
Yeah.
even if the rate they brought it in, and when they're trying to sell it out, there's a disparity, they can afford to maybe hold out a little longer to
Yes.
find someone who is willing to buy at that rate.
Yeah.
Yeah. But on the flip side, I saw Jason Joku's tweets. The concerns for, it's already the concern. That's the first thing I thought about.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the concerns
Which is
for
why
projections,
Yeah.
financial projections for the year. You normally do them like you quotes in, again, because most startups raise in dollars, which is another question. Should we start finding a way to encourage? Maybe this will hopefully, I don't know, also encourage more local investments in naira, and maybe force startups to start quoting revenue and everything in naira, because you have to quote in dollars because that's what everybody understands. And you're doing it at official rates, which was good for you because it makes it look good to quote it in dollars.
Now, even
To use
official rates.
But now,
I don't have an idea. So,
So-
it makes making what's it called, judgments not easy, because you are not sure of the stability.
Mm.
You're not
Yeah.
sure of the stability. Of course, before you know you are going to get from the black market, but there was a fixed rate that you can make your what's the English?
Your
projections on. But now the stability is not in your hand. Like the fluctuations might be a lot.
even if you meet your projections, because you are now using the whatever the official rate is, it will look like you have underperformed to your investors and your shareholders.
So, but
So that's a concern.
to play devil's advocate for this scenario, I get Jason's concern, right? But shouldn't this affect just people who raised before? What about people who want to raise in dollars now?
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's too about people raising. You get. I mean, of course, yes, it was it's tongue in cheek.
Yeah, yeah.
It's trying to make fun of those people who are so focused on fundraising. But I think the point he was trying to make is that, like, even for him, they have projections for the year,
Mm.
and maybe they've done half year reports, half year report, and said, oh, this is what we did, and we're already on track to. Maybe they say, oh, our target was $1 million for $10 million for 2023, and by half we've already done 600,000. 60% of that, and we're on track to do like 120% by the end of the year. But now when you
It's not 60% by the end of the year.
so you start to think, how do you now talk to, like relate that back to your investors and shareholders,
Shareholders,
even if you're, especially if you're a publicly traded or if you are dealing in all your services, not your services. There's a point he made, like for example, web hosting, all the things you need to pay, operations costs, you do a lot of them in dollars.
All your workspace and all that.
You do all of them in dollars, all your operation costs, and now you get that's the challenge, And then you also have to ask about the virtual card providers. What does this mean for them?
So I've been seeing very, very funny tweets that these guys are now irrelevant, but I don't think it is. It's for me. I just think they have more competition.
Yeah, the banks are now their competition.
Banks are now their competition,
so. And their rates are always ridiculously high because they know that they're in demand.
Yeah.
So now they have to
drop their rates. So
drop their rates
to get a share of this market. They have to do cutthroat rates, and I think I don't want to bet against a VC-backed startup because these guys can see what OPay did, right? 10 naira, bike rides and all of that. They could afford to.
And are you going to compare OPay with the other guys? OPay's treasure chest was. I mean, look at cheaper cash that had to now start charging money for failed transactions because they were losing money.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess maybe they have to now find other value add-ons to what they offer.
Yeah, so I think Nifemi wrote an article about how most of them payday, cheaper cash, gig pay. They are now moving up from they don't want to just be identified as virtual card providers, but neo banks for the gig economy.
So that you can. So I don't know. I use cheaper cash. Unless I've not dug into their platform properly. Can you receive dollars? Do they give you like a
virtual dollar
account that you can use to receive?
I have to confirm that. I don't think I've spotted that too.
Okay, but GigPay and Payday,
they said, and Great too. Yeah,
and Leatherback and all those guys.
Cardano Pay too.
Yeah, so I'm actually optimistic for them because I feel this gives them the opportunity to either innovate or to just enter a race to the bottom.
Sorry, hold on, but before virtual card providers were a thing, you could actually receive your funds in a DOM account.
Yeah, DOM account.
And you could also, I believe you could also receive in Naira, the Naira equivalent. Just that whatever bank rate your bank offers you. So are you sure the virtual card guys has to?
So it's a case of if my bank is offering me that same service and this startup are offering that same service, who is giving me better value?
I don't want to be in those guys' shoes right now.
Yeah, because those banks. I'm here trying to play devil's advocate for the startups, but those Nigerian banks are massive juggernauts when it comes to. But I'm thinking the arguments, right? I could use Kuda as an example. Kuda Bank basically offers the same service as regular banks, but they were able to find a value proposition that will make people move to them. Same thing with Carbon Zone right now. Apart from the transfers they are offering, the free transfers, their investment rates, they are say fixed investment rates. One of the highest. I think OPay is the highest, then Carbon.
Are all these things not customer acquisition strategies?
Yeah.
Don't they change eventually?
They change eventually. Like Kuda, the bank of the free, no longer free. So
it's tough to run a fintech in
I don't envy them.
That they will go back to the drawing board as we say it, and they find the way around it. There's always problem to be solved. That's why this.
That's why they are.
They will find it. They will look for a problem there and they will try to solve it. Hopefully.
Oh, cool. So this
our
nurse.
Down. I hope none of them shuts down. I hope none of them lays off. I hope this does not affect
been laying
anybody.
Off already now.
I mean, because of this.
One use case I just realized for virtual cards can be well, your bank can still solve that because maybe you just want a card that you use for online transactions, and you only want to put the amount you need there. I mean, with your card too, you have like 5 bank accounts, 6 bank accounts. You just dedicate one of them to.
Some banks even have virtual cards.
Yeah, one of them to that. So I'm trying to help you guys. I'm trying to think for them. But I'm sure they know better than us.
They
understand the market better than us.
Right?